Yeah, that's really good. Ooh, if there's no money involved, would I still do this? I think that goes into my next question, because there's this stigma where if we're earning well enough or we're making enough, then that's enough. Like, I'm good if I'm making enough, if I'm doing enough. But we have some high earners in here. We have high earning potential in here. What did it really occurred to you, like, okay, this isn't enough? Earning enough is not enough because it's taxing me mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and even physically.
I've never had enough mentality. Blame Annie for that. My mom has never come to me and be like, "Well, we have enough money now." That's never. I'll admit it. I've always wanted to be rich. I don't know what enough would be. And when I'm not rich, I wake up and be like, "Yeah, something ain't right. I know something's wrong. I know God want me to do something else because I already know what I'm called to. Like these
Mm-hmm.
financial problems, that's not my portion at all. Period." So yeah, the when I hear people are like, "I just want enough to pay my bills," I'm like, okay. Well, I have a laundry list of things that, like, I have a whole philanthropic plan, like, so I think I have a slight advantage there, having been in finance, when you're accustomed to asking people these kind of discovery
Yeah.
questions, like affluent people, and like money is never gonna feel like enough if you're not happy. It will
Ooh,
not. There's not a dollar amount. I know some
bars.
very unhappy multimillionaires, people with liquid millions, not equity in house millions, like millions in a brokerage account, like that they
Mm-hmm.
can liquidate tomorrow and buy whatever they want, miserable. And so, like, I think you have to start as you intend to go on. And I find that we tell people in the beginning, sell stuff you don't like, sell to people you don't like, sell whatever people will buy, and then you wonder how you end up with $1 million business you don't like. You built it brick by brick, offer by offer, client by client. Every time you
Yes.
go outside of a boundary that you set, you are reinforcing that. And one day your business makes too much money for you to walk away from it. That's when you start seeing these 8-figure people quit. They send that email. Even though my business made $12 million last year, we quit. We moving to Europe and we taking a 10-year sabbatical. They quit stuff in the middle of the program and just leave the industry. That's
Yes.
why. It's because they didn't like it as it was being built. They just thought there's an amount of money that will make this tolerable.
Oof.
There's an amount of money, and I just ain't hitting it. There's not an amount. There's not an amount. And we always, you want what you don't have. When I lacked money, I wanted money, and I thought money would solve my problem. Now that I have money, it's like, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
I gotta
absolutely.
I gotta recalibrate what is actually valuable to me.
Ooh, bars. Oof, bars. Okay, no, this is perfect because you touched on something about, millionaires, 8-figure, 7-figure millionaires, entrepreneurs that will be so unhappy, right? And that you just get an email. I remember seeing someone who used to be my mentor a long time ago. She basically had this big empire on Instagram. And then one day she was like, I'm done. I'm taking a sabbatical. And she went off, right? And I think a lot of times that goes into because we're doing things that, again, are out of alignment. And so whoever you work with is going to basically teach you what they did in order to get to where they're at. And so, how did you decide what works for you instead of following the crowd? And how did you know that this is wise counsel for me? Because they say masterclass this, funnel this, that, this, and that. How did you decide, okay, this is what works for me? And also, if you made any mistakes along the way?
Yeah. I realized that I was a sheep. And people hear that and they're like, no, you're not. Listen, I am a sheep who used to hire wolves. Okay. Now, people assume when you make money and you like sales that you are a wolf, that you are a hunter, that you are cutthroat, that you are a loner, and that you
Mm-hmm.
can do anything to capture prey. I'm actually not that way. You all have met my mother. There is no mean person that could fall from that tree. It's not possible. And so I treat people with kindness. I can't tell you how many people I didn't take money from on sales calls that was ready to pay because I didn't feel like I could help them. I cannot tell you how many people I have given scholarships into my program, even when we had not met our quota of the number of
Mm-hmm.
people that was supposed to be in the program. I cannot tell you how many programs I took a loss on because I was not willing to do 17 emails a day and 27 posts a night and do. I just wasn't willing to do it. I realized I had hired wolves, people who would step over, run over, talk over, and lie to close the deal, and that's why they had money. And then me affiliating myself with them was dangerous. But I was attracted to their outcome. I didn't understand that they had an underlying character issue. And I said, if I'm gonna build an 8-figure business, a 7-figure business, I'm gonna do it the right way. If it takes me 10 years, so be it. That's cool. I got time. My genetic testing said I got a 50-50 chance of living to be age 100. My mother is 75. What is the rush? What is the rush? The average millionaire is 60 years old. I'm 37. What is the rush? What are we racing to? Exactly. When people sell you these things. And I had a coach that was like, I paid this person a ton of money, like could have bought another Lexus money. Have a weekly webinar. And I'm like, do you know how hard I fought to get my calendar back to train my people that I am not going to be around all the time, to sell people into services that are distinctive and interesting, that are timely and functional? Do you know the work it takes to run a weekly webinar? Because after the first 2 or 3 weeks, you deplete all of your existing organic audience. Y'all come to my webinar Tuesday, you're not coming next Tuesday, and the Tuesday after that, you gotta be running ads consistently. I ain't ever had an ad pay off yet. I'm not saying I won't, but it ain't ever yet. That testing period is intense. Yeah. And every week means, when does Natalie get time off? Yeah. And this is something I paid somebody 5 figures to tell me. Show up and do a weekly webinar. And just listening to what people say, even on Clubhouse. Oh, do this. This person is ready to buy. And I'm like, they came up on stage and asked one question. I don't know this person from Adam. I don't just let anybody in my programs. I remember I was allowed to get into a program that I was not qualified for. This particular program had requirements that were not disclosed to me. It was sold through a VSL and not a sales call. So I had never gotten an opportunity to talk one-on-one with this person. I had just been in some rooms with them, seen some Facebook Lives, etc. And I got in the program and then found out you needed a funnel that was already working, you needed an offer that was already built, you needed a sales page that already worked. And I'm like, babe, I have a job. I can't be running no ads to no webinar. What are you talking about? The bank will walk me out of here. Like, what is going on? And so I said, you know what? I'm not like these people. I might have some of their results, but I am not similar to these people. And so I asked ChatGPT, I said, tell me about a sheep. Tell me about what a sheep is. And they're like, people think sheep are docile and they're dumb. They're actually really smart. They thrive in community. You know what I mean? Like the stereotype. And that's when I realized I'm absolutely not a wolf. So I will not hire counsel that I feel like is cutthroat lone hunter. If that's how you seem, act, are, keep that over there. And if that means I gotta walk away from my investment, God redeems. Every dollar I spend is gonna return to me anyway. And a lot of us will chase a sunk cost. I used to be a sunk cost whisperer. If I paid you money, I'm trying to do anything I can to get my money back, to recoup. Let's meet again. Let's strategize again. Let's talk some more. Now you program trash, you trash, goodbye. Throwing good time after bad time and good money after bad money, trying to make my first investment work out doesn't make sense, because I probably could have sold somebody new into a new offer and made that money back while I'm trying to get you to do the right thing. Come on now. Know when they're not doing the right thing, it's either a will issue or a skill issue. Most of the people who scam us don't even have a skill to do right. Giving them more time ain't gonna give them more skill. You've been scamming 20 years, now you ran into me and you gonna learn how to do what you sold me? That's not gonna happen. So what is given 3 months or 6 months or 12 months? The first time somebody show you who they are, believe them. Figure out what your legal ramifications are, cut your losses, and move on. I'm telling you, you sink so much time. There's so many people I probably could have closed, so worried about how I was gonna get my money back from this person I felt like had duped me. Oh my. I just needed to take a second there just to let that marinate. Because I found even in my entrepreneurship life is that everybody's going to do something different. And if you look at it as, okay, this person is doing it this way, they're doing it that way, it all works, y'all. It all works. It's finding what works for you.
And that's the part where you have to be in alignment with is what works for you. I've tried, and Nat has tried this too, masterclass, workshop, funnels, all the things. And you know what it does? It drains me. I found I don't like being tired. I don't like being tired. I actually like being in the bed at 9 so I can go to bed by 12. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. I actually like that. Okay. So thank you for sharing that, because I think it's so important for us to hear that it's so important to be in alignment with whatever it is that you're working, because your clients, they will feel that. They will feel that. I want to shift gears just for a second and go into, we talked about the mistakes. I want to talk about wealth. Y'all ready to talk about some wealth? Okay. Now, I know that we fall into some traps when it's around revenue, right? But what are some traps that you see entrepreneurs fall into when they're trying to create real wealth?
I've fallen into all the traps.
So you guys are learning from the best.
Yeah, I'm well skilled. I've had to gnaw my leg off quite a few times and escape lots of traps. So yeah, I think the number one is arrogance. So yeah, it's having a good launch and thinking all your launches are going to be good. It's having a good sales week and thinking every week is going to be strong. It's having 2 or 3 clients who always renew and assuming they're going to renew again. Because when you have it in your mind that the way things are, the way things will always be, you don't save, you don't protect, and you overspend. And a lot of people are like, oh, I had this anchor client and I know they're going to renew. I know they're going to pay me every month. I know they're going to pay me every year. Things can't come up. I remember I had a young lady, it was going to be a really big deal. And she had an unplanned pregnancy and had some serious complications and lost the baby. And that would have been a huge deal for my company that didn't go through, not because she didn't want to buy it, but because literally her personal life imploded. Mm-hmm. There's no way I could have predicted something like that. Like I did everything I was supposed to do, she did everything she was supposed to do, but like she literally took a year off her business. She was like, I'm good, but thank you, right? And so I think not always thinking the good times are going to be around. I think that the arrogance, the hubris, that's a trap. 2, not marketing. Lots of people have floated on referrals. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't never been able to float on no referral. Nobody knew who I was. Every client I had, I got them. I've posted 17 million times to get y'all in this room. Like, ain't nobody come to your house and knock on your door and say, let me tell you about this woman named Natalie Bullen in this conference that she's having, okay? I have written novels to get y'all here. I've done 100 hours worth of video here. I turned it to Denzel. Right, I just got footage. I'm like Lil Wayne in 2008. It's just another one and another one and another one. So I can relate to I don't have to market at all because people just find out who I am because I'm so excellent. And usually that slows down, and then people are like, I have no system at all. So I think that's a trap. Yeah. Thinking that you don't ever have to market. Maybe you don't have to, but you should know how to. Maybe you don't need to fish, but you should know how to fish, right? And I think the third is
that's really good.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to fish. Like I'm not saying if you have capacity and you don't want to market it, you cool, but you should know how. If your referral learn how. Yeah, if your referral stop working, you should have a backup. It shouldn't be I have no clue what to do because for 10 years I've been a referral only business. Yeah. That's really scary. And I think the third is not growing wealth commensurate with the business. Right? If your business made $500K and you made 50 of it, that's lopsided. Like, where did the rest of it go? And so making sure that you have something for you is paramount. And I tend to see women put themselves last. When I look at their P&L, there's a lot in coaching and consulting. There's a lot in team spending. There's a ton of software. And y'all travel too much. I'm gonna put that out there. I see P&Ls with $20, $30, $40, $50,000 worth of travel, and I'm like, where did you go?
Where did you go? And who did you go see? What did you do?
Where is the ROI? Right? Where is the ROI? Because if I look at somebody like Jeanille, yeah, she flew here. I paid for that. That ain't travel that's going on her P&L. That's a cost of goods sold on this event on my P&L. You see what I'm saying? So like, and if she did pay travel somewhere, I guarantee you she worked that road Everybody who needed to know her,
she gonna make her money.
Exactly. Y'all travel to retreats that's really vacations and don't even talk to nobody. I see the P&Ls, and so I'm like, there's a standard in companies of what is reasonable to spend. And I think because people are so afraid of the IRS, they don't even know what these reasonable guidelines might be. Spending 50% of your revenue on discretionary stuff is not sound. You can't stay in business like that. And so I'm not saying don't go anywhere, but there needs to be rhyme or reason. And if you are making personal trips, they need to be coming out of your personal account, and you need to pay yourself enough to take these trips. So I think that's what I see a lot. I see very lopsided P&Ls where there's 5% owner's compensation, 0% in retirement, very little savings, back taxes, but there's 50,000 in a mastermind, 18,000 for a retreat, 75,000 in miscellaneous that ain't even broke out. And I'm like, baby, what happened? And then you have a bad year or a regular year, because let's face it, some of us have been having record years because of COVID. EIDL money and PPP money flooded into the marketplace where people will buy anything. I found out 2 weeks ago that EIDL was giving people 1.5x their revenue. So a business with 500K in revenue could get a $750,000 loan. I had no idea. My business was too new to qualify for that. So everything I bought on money we actually had. I didn't buy anything on big balloon loans. You know what I'm saying? So now you got people who can't afford their debt service. That's why they didn't renew with you. And so I think some of us have gotten accustomed to selling to people who really did not even have capacity to buy. They were just inflated temporarily from some economic factors that can't be replicated. So that might be a trap too, getting used to selling to people who now have recognized their economic standing and have had to make some serious cuts, and we have not adjusted fast enough in the market. Ooh. That was a lot of answer.
No, that was perfect. I really enjoy that. And so this is where I want to ask some of these guys, some of these ladies in the audience, what questions do you have about that? Because when you're building wealth is really, I don't know, I'll speak from a personal standpoint. It's been a personal journey for me, but I've looked at others and how they build wealth and what they're doing to build wealth. And I thought, should I do that? Is that something I should work towards? Is that a me thing too? But it wasn't. And so I fell into some traps earlier on. I've been an entrepreneur for 11 years. And when I came to the social media space, I was like, this thing is strange. Okay. And so I would like to take some questions if you guys have anything about that. What you enjoying? You enjoying Instagram while we talking? I'm just joking. Oh Lord. Listen, it's either Snap or TikTok. Okay, so I understand. There's going to be hot seat coaching later.
So these aren't coaching questions, but questions about the journey.
Now, my question for you, Natalie, is the only way that you market is just organic marketing. You just go on and you do videos and that's it. You said you don't do paid ads.
We do paid ads. I've never had a paid ad campaign work. We spent money on ads. I've spent $7,500 on SEO. I've gotten one sales call from it. It didn't close. We have done webinar workshop type things.
Masterclasses.
That are paid. We've done paid masterclasses. We have blogs that maybe somebody reads about or cares. But in terms of things that work and pay my bills, it's Facebook. But yeah, we've tried, I don't know, 7 or 8 other things.
Yeah.
Keep trying,
Organic is, I like to say, is you try. That's it. And you try the one thing that keeps working. I think a lot of times, Nat, and you can probably elaborate on this, and you guys too, is we'll work one thing and it works really well, and then we say, oh, let me go over and add another thing. And here's the thing about growing and scaling. You can grow and scale on one thing. You don't have to do a bunch of things.
Stigma that social media is not stable, right? And people who make way less money than me like to argue with me about how social media is never going to work.
Facts.
So I meet people who make $50,000 a year in their business that tell me that Facebook is unstable and I shouldn't grow there. And I'm like, okay, that's valid. But you ain't figured out what's working for you yet in the $1 million thing either. So we all trying stuff out. Like, it's no shade, but like you're trying, I'm trying. Your try ain't no better than my try because you feel like you own it. Okay, yeah, I own my email list. It don't make no money. And email is not top of funnel. You have to have something that is driving people to email. Social media is not a replacement for
Facts.
get on the email list. So whatever got them on the list is what your top of funnel is. So people are like, oh no, I don't do social media, I just send emails. Right, but you got them on your list.
How did you
with
get them
some
on your
vehicle.
email?
That's the vehicle that's competing with social. And then I got them on my Facebook group. Oh, so it's organic social media still. Right. Well, no, but my Facebook group is better than your page because it's Facebook will close your group down in an instant. How did y'all end up in my Facebook group?
They did it a few weeks ago.
A lot less control over your group than on your personal page than you think. And so, like, I say this: if you got something that works and you make money, I'm not gonna shade you. If you my client and you say, look, I'm on TikTok, you get leads? Yeah, they qualified? Yeah, they closed? Yeah, bet. I do not care. Like, I am platform agnostic. If it works, now if it's not working, then we need to talk. But if it works, why do I care? And I think it is very interesting. But see, I disprove a lot of people's limiting beliefs. People have limiting beliefs about social media and limiting beliefs about organic platforms. And so when they see me being successful on something that they've convinced themselves that they can't do, it triggers that feeling in them. Yes. Right? I don't get mad when people make money on email. I just say it's not for me. But I'm not mad at you. I know people who can send an email and make $10,000. That's a flex. Like, keep doing it. I would send 30 emails a day. If an email made me $10,000, like, I stay on some people's list of email way too much, and I think to myself, she laughing all the way to the bank with these emails. So, like, do what works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drea.
Okay. Piggybacking off of that, how do you discern where you are is working? So from the platform standpoint, or if you need to make a shift, like, how do you know? Like, how do you know you're not doing the right things where you are, or you need to be somewhere else?
I mean, we have KPIs, the most important of which is cash. So the fact that people find me on Facebook and pay me from Facebook means it is working to a degree. Now, whether I like it or not is a different question. So whether it's working and whether you enjoy it and is it in alignment are two different questions, right? Facebook has some pitfalls, obviously. It creates a parasocial relationship that is untenable for most people. Yeah. However, there are ways you can get around that. There are a lot of people who literally do not respond to DMs. They don't do any business in the DMs, and so they are able to have a firm line. Like, they will make posts, their team will post, but they are not in the DMs having that connection. Yeah. For me, I'm used to outbound sales. I'm used to that. I'm used to cold calling. Like, I come from a sales background. We used to hang up in your face. I used to sell parts for Sears teleserve. I've done telemarketing. You can't scare me on the phone with somebody. You can give me somebody's phone number right now that came to your webinar last week, and I will convince you to get on a call with you and pay you some money. Like, it's not an issue to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents drank out a color-only water fountain, so don't be afraid of a phone call for it. How about that? Ooh! Ooh! I think for me, so like, maybe you don't like it, but for me, I am a personality-driven business. I have lots of credentials and skills, and I pray that some of that is the reason why you all hire me. But the truth is, you like me, and you like me because you know enough about me to like. So any kind of platform that doesn't let me show who I am is not going to be right. I also came into business with no marketing skill and no marketing budget. Facebook seems like a free billboard. You tell me I can market to 5,000 people for free. I can just add 5,000 people I don't know, and I can start broadcasting my message for free to them every day. I couldn't find no drawback in that. That sounded like a hell of a deal. I was like, are you sure they do it like that? I ain't still got to go to Harvard or nothing because I was late to Facebook. I didn't get on Facebook until maybe 2012 personally. I didn't start using it for my business until 2021. Like, I'm not an OG of Facebook. I don't know how it used to be. And all people go, oh, this is how it used to be. You ain't who was making no money? What was so great about it?
Yeah, it wasn't great. There was no money over there.
You're like, well, I want to be on social media and be social. Yeah, y'all know enough about me. Y'all know that I'm not responsible enough to have a dog. Okay? y'all know that I've been on a credit score journey to 800. Like, y'all know stuff about me. I still peppered in the personal stuff. I think you have to do what works for you. I'm also, like, not a planner, and I'm a talker. I can hit a button on Facebook and go live, just like we started Clubhouse Room. I didn't have to have it figured out. Email, you have to know what you were doing. You got to segment this list. You got to clean the list. You got to be a damn tech wizard, girl. Like, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Yeah. And so for me, if it's hard, if there's friction between it, I'm just not going to do it. So Facebook is easy. So yeah, I paid other people to try other things and will continue to do so because I do think you need diversification. However, my play account and my brokerage account is not diversified. It is almost all Magnificent Seven stocks and the returns are excellent. So is there a place for diversification? Absolutely. But if you got one thing that's working really well, you shouldn't have a shame in that. I feel like a lot of people feel like they gotta hide if they're making millions of dollars on Facebook because somebody wouldn't approve of it because that's not real marketing.
Bars. I would also add to that, like with the different industries that you guys or the different clients that you guys serve, really know where your people are at. You know, like that's important. Like if your people are not on Facebook and you're marketing on Facebook, it's like you're yelling and there's no one in the crowd. Okay, so just keep that in mind too, because Nat shows up. She appeals to many people because they want to make more money. They want more wealth. Right? But if you're talking to people about, if you're like, well, moms who exercise and trying to strengthen their shins, are they on Facebook? I don't know. Are they on TikTok? Shins was very random, y'all. I have no, listen, first off, mind your business. That's how my brain works. Yes. Okay, one more question, then we'll go to our next question for you, Nat. All right. Evolve. Because you know we don't play about that content, right?
Okay, so my question for you is, I know I put on your post if you like the fire movement, and you're like, nah, I ain't down with the fire movement. But what is your Garfield exit plan?
Ooh.
Yeah, talk about the fire. Fire is financial independence, retire early. It is a broad umbrella for lots of communities that have segmented off. Initially, it started off with a really good mission. People who want to retire way before standard retirement age, which is 65 to 68, depending on what year you were born in terms of what year you can take Social Security, and 59 and a half in terms of how soon you can get money out of your IRA without the tax, 10% tax penalty. Okay. I feel like it has an extreme faction that I'm not in love with. People who are dumpster diving, doing extreme coupon, and doing some really weird things. And you know, DR talks about she eat rice and beans and rice, and there's a lot of shame around, you know, saving this money. And I think I was reading a book. I feel like it's the 5 Types of Wealth by Jeanille. I read a lot of books. I feel like I read most of that book, and it was a vignette in that book that talked about a rich guy who had his parents living, and he was talking about how busy he was and how he hadn't gotten to see his parents. And the author said, "How many more Christmases do you have for them? Like 10?" He said, "What do you mean? Before they pass away, how many more Christmases do you have?" You say you only go home for Christmas, but you got 10 Christmases, 12, and then you never see them again. And he like sold his house and moved closer to his parents, so he didn't see them all the time. Because he realized being really rich but never getting to see his parents was actually not the kind of wealth that he wanted to build. So part of me in these extreme kind of factions is that you are giving up quality of life now to an extreme for something that you hope happens. I also feel like most of those people are not actually financial advisors. Retiring in your 30s is practically impossible because in order to fully retire, you need passive income that covers your entire living expense. And in your 30s, with inflation, that number by the time you are retirement age and can take out Social Security is astronomical. I have never truly met a person who wasn't an heiress or like an inventor of business like Microsoft type thing, but like a regular person who was 100% work optional at 30. Yeah. Like that, the math is just not there. And these people will not break down the math on what it took to get them passive income. And I know people with mortgage notes that's paying out. I know people with hedge funds that's paying out. I know people with buying whole stocks that's getting $10,000 a year in dividends. Take your mortgage, take all of your expenses, the dog care, your health care. Because remember, if you're not working, you don't get any of those benefits anymore. You were paying out of pocket for everything. Yeah. Your lived expense could be $10, $12, $15, $20,000 a month without those subsidies we take for granted in corporate. What kind of passive income is paying you $20,000 a month that you didn't put millions into on the front end? And where you get millions from in your 20s? Like, I just feel like the math isn't true. So that's why I'm skeptical. In terms of my Garfield plan, it's gonna have a couple of prongs. Definitely real estate. I'm in passive real estate now. I'm in REITs because it's easier for me. I know that right now I just don't have capacity to be a good landlord. Like I talked about, if I can't do it well, I'm just not going to. But eventually having property in probably like Birmingham, Kansas City, like Mobile, Huntsville is not the right market just because of costs and the kind of people who live there. And actually taking, like, skimming the dividends off my investments right now, I reinvest all of my dividends. So like I've got some income now that I could be getting, I just don't get it. And having people pay me for things that I've already created, right? Like we got a licensing play in place like that. Like my goal is just to be like, okay, now what do you need for like one thing? So my mortgage is $978 a month. Yes, that's principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and PMI. When people go, when are you gonna move?
I'm sorry, what?
978. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, PMI. 978. Move the PMI. Yeah, all right. And is it not gonna cost me $4,000 in housing? Questions that need answers. Like, because I live in a lower cost of living area, I don't have to pay myself a $200,000 or $300,000 salary to live a good quality of life, which means that my margins can be better in my business without me having to sacrifice anything, right? I also stem stuff off the top. So like I'm on salary with my company, but it's also funding my retirement. So I've got, like, the business being open is actually benefiting me. So, we'll see how the math shakes out, but my goal is just one expense at a time. So like, how do I get enough passive income to cover my entire mortgage? Okay, then how do I get enough passive income to cover my mortgage and my fixed utilities? Okay, how do you have enough passive income? Like, I'm just going down the list. And so eventually it'll be where I would not have to draw any salary and I can still maintain my standard of living. And then you just do more of what works. That's my Garfield plan.
Ooh, bars. I think this goes into my next question because as I'm hearing you talk, I'm getting this rich energy. Are y'all getting rich energy? I mean, listen, it's giving rich energy. It is the dress, the shoes, and everything, right? As I sit here, I'm thinking, okay, Natalie had to like make a decision or decide or something to get to this rich energy. What rich moves did you have to make in order to get to this place? Like, what are some rich investments? What are some rich decisions you had to make? Maybe no, right? You had to say no to some things, and maybe even some bad decisions you made. So what's that? How did you get to this rich energy and make these rich moves?
You will always remember who helped you out of a bad place and who put you in a bad place.
Period.
And who left you in a bad place. You always remember. And when I realized I was the bank for a lot of people, but if I needed $50 or $100, I didn't have nobody I could call that wasn't family. My family would ride or die for me. But people who I had loaned money and then want to act funny when I wanted it back.
Ain't that crazy?
People who would ask me, loan, and say it was a loan. Right.
And catch an attitude with you when you ask for it back.
People who would ask me for a ride, but then talk trash about my car behind my back. Right. The car they rolled in to get what they needed to go. Right. The people who stayed in your house for free, then act like they don't even know who you are out in public. You'll forget those people. And so I made up in my mind early that I deserve better. I worked at Cracker Barrel 5.5 years. I worked there in high school in Mobile. I transferred to the store in Madison, Alabama. It was still a smoking store when I moved there. I was like, Lord, get better. And when the Huntsville store opened, I transferred. And after 6 years of working there, I ended up in college. I got my degree, and I applied to be a manager, which would have paid $60,000 or $70,000 a year, which in 2010, 2011 was huge. And here's the thing: I never made 60 or 70 in corporate. I just left corporate 4 years ago. I never made that number. So that number in 2010 felt like miraculous money for me. They're like, well, you gonna work 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week now for $2.13 an hour. Like, give me a job. How much more work could it be? You're gonna be in the cooler, it's cold. I'll buy a jacket. Give me a job.
Give me a sweater.
How long are you in the cooler counting meat? The meat is the meat. Give me a jacket. And they told me that I was not qualified. Now, I was the only manager there that would have had any kind of formal education.
This was after you got your MBA.
I I didn't have my MBA yet, but I had a bachelor's in business administration. And had taken restaurant hospitality classes. Didn't care about none of that. I had been employee of the year. Who else you gonna promote? If I wasn't good enough, why you give it to me? And so I realized then, you know what? As long as I allow somebody to play with my earning potential, it's always gonna be some mess. You could be loyal to a certain thing and you think you moving forward. They thinking, I appreciate your service. I can't wait to get rid of you. And so, I won't say I had the entrepreneurial bug. I'm a very accidental entrepreneur. It wasn't my intention, but it was always my intention to make more money somehow. I wasn't clear on the how, right? And formal education just has not worked out for me. Like, I'm so happy for anybody who went to college and got an ROI, but other than the people that I met, it has not made me $1. When I think about the apartment complexes, I could be work optional now if they would have given me the same loan they gave me for History 101 that they would have given me for a real asset like an apartment complex, right? And so, I think mistakes is just been having a mindset and accepting that I had low income potential because I couldn't move forward in any kind of career no matter what degree I got.
Yeah.
And once you live somewhere low cost of living, it's hard to move. You apply for a job in DC with an Alabama address, they won't hire you. You can't get a place in DC unless you make 3x the rent. You can't make 3x the rent because you're getting paid like you live in Alabama. Right? It never ends. Like, I have tried everything. I'll be a roommate, I'll live with a friend, I'll do this, I'll do that. I tried for 7 or 8 years. I applied for probably 600 internal jobs like Wells Fargo. And so I said, you know what? Clearly, this just ain't ever gonna work, right? I need to do something else. And being in business for myself and being able to replace my income year one, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. This is most likely gonna be an easier path for me. Even if it's frustrating sometimes, at least I get to set my salary and not feel like I got played. So, staying in the college system too long, for sure. Yeah. Thinking that I had some loyalty and trust built with some people who really was just trying to reap benefits off me, for sure. And assuming good in people before I saw the fruit. Ooh. A lot of people bear rotten fruit. And you just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't inspected the grounds long enough to kind of see what's going on. So that's why now I don't push for, you gotta buy right now. We get off this call in 30 minutes. If you don't buy, all the bonuses go away. And, if you really cared about your business, you would pay me. Like, I don't do all that mess anymore because I feel like people need time to see the fruit. I'm okay with your inspection and your timeline as such. There's a lot of people. I feel like that's a bar. I'm okay with your inspection. You know what I mean? Like, everybody orchard ain't producing what you think it is. Yeah. Oh, that was good. I too look at people's fruit and I think about when people look at me, do they see the fruit? Like, and not just let's just be real, right? It's not just the financial fruits. It's like, is my daughter happy? Is my home taken care of? Right? Like, my daughter, she encourages me. I think that's a fruit, right? Like, she helps me when I'm preparing to go live or something. She's like bringing me water, like she's giving me a pep talk. That's a fruit. Like you and your husband, that's a fruit. And so I say, I look at those things because that matters. If your home life isn't good, your business is good, but you're not taking care of your home life. If your home life is bad, your business is bad. I'm just gonna come out. Let's just be real. Ain't no way. It's absolutely bad. Ain't no way. I do not take clients who are in the middle of that. I'm like, I also don't take clients where. Apologize to your partner before you hire me. Do you hear me? Don't be trying to holler at somebody while you with me and I know your wife or your husband, baby. I tell. I'm gonna need you to clear out my Amazon list. I don't let people sneak behind their spouse's back and spend money that they told them they weren't going to spend. Exactly. Now, if you tell me you have transaction authority, like, my husband does not have a say in my business finances. That is his choice. We don't talk about the money that my business makes, and we We don't talk about the money that my business spends, because he knows I funded this brick by brick myself. Right? It's not like, oh, my household money is going into your business. He trusts that I'm making sound decisions, and as long as I got a paycheck that's coming in every month like clockwork, which I do on the first, we good. But if you and your partner have conversations, y'all have money meetings, and y'all talk about it, and you promise him that you're not gonna spend no more money on programs. Do not come in my DM somebody, hey, my husband can't know about this. Can you change what this invoice says? And can you do this?
Ain't doing it.
People will hide stuff, and I'm like, see, you already starting with deceit.
Yeah.
When he finds out about me, he's not gonna be feeling it, and you're not gonna get an ROI from this program because you feel guilty